Hi, I'm Mary-Jess and welcome to my How to Warm Up Your Voice tutorial. So let's dive straight in. First thing we want to do is we want to warm up our tummy muscles. So the best way to do that is to start off really slowly and gently, and that's to do an impression of my dog, Misty, and do a bit of panting. So you want to stick out your tongue and start panting. Now, could you see what that was doing to my tummy? What you can see is that it's starting to engage the tummy muscles. So if I have my hands on my tummy and step back a little bit, you should be able to see what it's doing. Now that's just a really nice gentle way of getting your tummy muscles warmed up. So you're saying, hey tummy muscles, we're about to do some singing, and they're like, okay, that sounds good, let's do this. But we have to warm up our tummy muscles and our breathing apparatus before we start warming up our voice, because it's your breathing apparatus and your tummy muscles that support the voice. Now, just a little warning before we keep going. A lot of singing exercises look funny, sound funny, and are hilarious. But I'm afraid those are the ones that work, so we're just gonna have to deal with it and move on, okay? We can do it. So the next one is blowing out candles. Now you can see, once again, how that is moving my whole chest cavity and my tummy. If I put my hands here, you can see. Just like that. Now what you're doing is you're warming up your transverse abdominis, your internal and external obliques. Now they help hold you like a corset while you're singing. So they are very, very important to warm up, because without them, your voice is not supported. So you need to support your voice so that you can sing very healthily and for as long as you want without getting tired. So that's why we're warming up the tummy muscles first. So the next thing we've got to do does make a bit more noise, but seeing as we're still in coronavirus times, it's good to do some singing. It's good, makes you feel happier, and let's just ignore the fact that the neighbours are next door and they're not going anywhere. Let's just ignore that. They're gonna have to put up with it. So, what a good time to exercise your voice and potentially annoy your neighbours, but never mind. So the next thing to do, we're gonna start involving the voice. So the next thing, once again, is funny and is hilarious, but it works. So this is why we do it, okay? So what you're doing there is you're just starting to warm up your vocal folds. You're saying, hey, vocal folds, let's do some singing. They're going, all right, that sounds good, let's do this. But you're also still engaging your core muscles. So it's helping to warm up everything now. Now what you want to do is start at different peaks and at different pitches and just warm it up all the way through your range as well. So we're going to start off just with little hills like that. And you can start at a different pitch. Now can you see, if I move back, you can see my tummy muscles are moving. And can you see that when I breathe, my tummy goes out? Now this is very, very important. If you put your hands on your tummy, you'll be able to pay more attention to this. And I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see what's happening. Okay, so if I move that arm out of the way, you can see. And then did you see at the end there, I splatted. Now that stands for singers, please let go of abdominal tension, splat. Okay, it's very, very, very important to splat. And the reason for that is because when you're holding in your tummy muscles and they're supporting you, that's a good exercise. So you need to make sure that when you breathe, you relax your tummy muscles. It gives them a bit of a break, and it also means that you're able to fill yourself with so much oxygen ready for your next phrase, okay? So it's very important that when you are bringing in your muscles to sing a phrase, you then release them and splat, so that you can take a good breath ready to sing your next phrase. Now, you also should have noticed, hopefully, when I was going in to do my phrase and then splatted at the very end, what you can see is this. So my tummy muscles come in as the phrase begins, and then they're there holding me. So it's holding your voice like a corset. And then when you breathe and you splat, they come out and you have that release. Singers, please let go of blah, 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 get my words out. Singers, please let go of abdominal tension, splat, okay? So it's very important to splat. And what your tummy muscles are doing there, you're actually engaging your pelvic floor as well. So all of the muscles, all the way from your pelvic floor, all the way up your tummy muscles, are bringing all of the muscles up to where your bra strap is, or would be if you were to wear one. You're going all the way up when you bring your muscles in. So by doing these funny exercises, we're already warming up so much of our body, and it's so important because this is your foundation. You need to make sure that you have laid your foundations correctly so that your beautiful house of a voice can be built on top and sound wonderful and last for a very, very, very long time, okay? So that's basically what we're doing. So once you've done a few different hills and a few different movements in your voice, you can then start to use that exact same exercise to warm up the entirety of your range, okay? So we're going... So, and always remembering to splat at the end there, okay? So, you can always start to build up. You can go not quite as low as your lowest range and then not quite as high, and you can always go just a little bit higher next time and a little bit lower next time, just to gently warm up the entire register of your voice, okay? So once you've done that, we've got another breathing exercise that just helps, now that your tummy is a bit more engaged, it just helps to really get your tummy into the mood for singing. Now, I warned you. I warned you. These are funny exercises, but we want to have good, healthy voices. So we're just going to have to put up with it so we're our neighbours. Okay? So the next one is blowing raspberries with our lips. Now, the reason why that is so good is because you are creating resistance. Okay? So that means that your tummy muscles have to work even harder to support you when you create that resistance. Okay? So we're blowing raspberries. Just to warn you, you ready for this? Now I'm going to step back so you can see what my tummy muscles are doing. Yeah, we can then build up to 2 or 3 raspberries in a row. Okay, and then 3 in a row. Now these are really, really great for training staccato melodic movements. They are brilliant at training your staccato rhythms and your staccato melodic movements that you quite possibly learn in. So they are really brilliant for that, and they also get your tummy really engaged, okay? So that's why we need to do them, even though they're embarrassing. But we'll brush over that, it's fine. So the next thing to do, it follows on from there, and it's about creating resistance once again, but we start to engage our vocal folds, okay, for this next one. And what it is hamster cheeks. So hamster cheeks or puffy cheeks, it's got a few different names, but it's the same thing, okay? So you go into puffy cheeks, and then you start to engage your vocal folds and just have a tiny little opening there, so I'll show you. Now this is really helping to warm up your vocal folds, and it's also really engaging your tummy. If you look at my tummy, so try it yourself. You'll be able to feel that it really works your tummy muscles, okay? So the reason why we warm up with this is not only because it's telling your tummy muscles, hey, we're going to be doing some singing, and they're like, that sounds good, but it's also because it warms up your vocal folds, it starts to get them moving, and also it's a really great tool to have in your tool belt. So when you are practicing a phrase on hamster cheeks or on puffy cheeks, it engages your tummy more than you could potentially need it for singing that phrase, because you're creating that resistance. So if you've got a really long phrase that you don't want to break for breath with in the middle, Then you can practice that phrase on puffy cheeks, and all the support that you need will be coming so much bigger from your tummy. You'll get so much more support because you're creating that resistance. So your tummy needs to support the breath flow even more. And I've done a whole video on this that you can check out around here somewhere. I'll put a thing up, but it's an amazing tool to have in your tool belt. So it's a great warm-up technique and it's a great tool as well. So the next thing to do after that is to add a bit of melody to your puffy cheeks. So you can start off really simple and really little, just with a and that just gets your tummy moving nicely and gets the vocal cords just warming up a little bit, okay? And then you can start to add a little bit more melody to the exercise. All the time making sure that we're remembering that our tummy muscle is there to support us all the way through. It's your friend, okay? It's there to support you no matter what happens. Your tummy is there for you. So you've got to remember that your tummy is always there. It's always holding you. It's always supporting you. It's always going to be your great foundation. So make sure you're paying attention to warm it up properly, and then make sure that you are always splatting at the end as well. Okay, so the next one to go on to after that is something that warms up your entire body, because it's not just all the muscles all the way from your pelvic floor all the way up to your jaw and everything that's doing singing. It's a lot to do with your body as well, because you've got a lot of muscles in your back that are engaged while you're singing. You've got to make sure that your stance is correct for singing as well. So normally it's nice to have your feet shoulder width apart about, and then it's always great to be flat-footed if you can. I know a lot of us girls feel pressure from society to wear heels while we're singing. It's not ideal, but if you can be flat-footed, great. If you have to wear heels, maybe pick smaller ones. So when you've got your nice comfortable stance and you're nice and relaxed, yes, we can start making sure that our body is warmed up a bit, and we just want to do that by stretching out and stretching upwards, and maybe having a yawn. Okay. Oh dear, I must have needed that. That was a big one. But the reason why we're doing that is not only to get all of your muscles feeling a bit more agile, moving a bit more, and a bit more flexible, feeling like you're a bit more supple, but it's also to get that yawning going, because you want to make sure that you're yawning, you're creating a good amount of space in your mouth, so that when you sing, you've got extra room for air to resonate. And then also when you're yawning, just making sure that everything's relaxed. Yes, because you want to make sure that your jaw is always relaxed and everything else is always relaxed as well. Because if you, for example, go to breathe and take a big breath, and you breathe from up here, then it's just going to make you feel really tight, and it's not going to help with singing. So you need to make sure that you're relaxed and you're breathing from your tummy. You don't want anything to tense up, okay? So if you're tensed up and you're trying to sing, you're just going to strain yourself. So just make sure you're always relaxed. Always relaxed, and it'll help everything. It's a bit like, for example, if you were very tight and tense, think about it in terms of a car engine, for example. If things weren't moving properly, or if you weren't in a line, the engine would wear itself out really quickly. So you've got to think about how just making sure everything's relaxed, it's all working properly, it's supple, it's all oiled up, and it's moving all the way it should in a nice relaxed way. Yes, that kind of idea. So after we've done our yawn and our stretch, and we're feeling a lot more relaxed and ready to sing, yes, we then need to start warming up our vocal cords even more. So we did speak about making sure your jaw is nice and relaxed, yes, so you make sure everything is nice and relaxed, and you can just do a bit of A-I-O, just going through your vowels. A-I-O, yeah, sounds good. A-I-O, I know it looks good. But just make sure you're nice and relaxed, because when you're singing, it's always best if you can fit 2 fingers in your mouth like that at any time. So when you are singing, just try to open your mouth, yes. Some Something like that. Anyway, you get the idea. Because if you're trying to sing through closed lips, if you're trying to sing through closed lips, it's not going to work as well as open lips, yeah? So what you want to do is, I'm sure you've got a beautiful voice inside you. You just want to open your mouth and let it come out and share it with the world, yeah? You want people to hear it. So open the door, open the gates, let people hear that beautiful voice of yours, okay? So once we're all warmed up, yeah, the next thing to do is to make sure our voice is warmed up to match this bit, yeah? So you just want to start off with a bit of gentle humming. Now what I tend to do is I tend to go down into the lower parts of my range before going up into the higher parts of my range. And then when I've gone quite comfortably down, I'll start moving up. And you keep going and going and going to what's comfortable, and then come back down again to where's comfortable, and then go a bit further up and see if you can just move throughout your whole entire range just in that gentle way, yeah? Then your voice will be warmed up, ready to match your body and your tummy that's now nicely warmed up, and all your jaw and everything. So you can then start just nice scales on a nice ah, you know, something like that. Do the similar thing with the humming, where you went down and then you went up a bit more, and then you went down a little bit more, and then you went up a little bit more. You know, just exploring your range and really just allowing it to blossom as you're warming up, yes? So once you've just done it on an ah, you can then go on to your other vowel sounds. So A, E, I, O, U, yeah, okay? So we can have A, I, O, U. You know, there's many different ways of exploring the vowel sounds while you're warming up. So there's loads of different ways of doing that. I've just given you one very quick example there, but there are lots of different ways. Another way is just play with the rhythms, play with the melody, play with the different vowel sounds, and just enjoy warming up. Okay, so then once you've done a few legato lines, you can then move on to staccato lines, yes? So ones like e, e, ah, 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 you know, those kinds of things, or it could be ah, 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 or it could be that you're trying to just warm up gently with some of your favourite arias that use something like that. You know, you can slip your favourite melodic lines into there as well. So something like, what's one that I like? Now with any of these exercises, it doesn't matter really which range you're singing it in. If you're thinking, oh, but that's not the range that the song is actually in, that's not the right key, don't worry about it. You're just warming up, you're just having a bit of fun, you're getting to that point, yes? So when it comes time to sing the song in its original key, if it is a bit higher, if it's a bit lower, whatever, your voice is prepared, it's ready, you can cope with it. Yeah, so that's the idea. You're just having fun, exploring your range and making sure that everything is warmed up properly, yes? So the very last thing that I like to do is I like to warm up my entire range all together. Now my preferred vowel is an R. I do prefer to use the R sound for this, but sometimes I do play around with it. And I like to go through from the very bottom of my range all the way up to the top. Now there's a few different ways that I do this, so let me demonstrate a few. To stay on some notes, and I like other times to go through notes quite quickly. It depends on how they feel in my range. If I feel like they need a little bit of extra attention, I might stay on one for a little bit longer. Or if I feel like it's working in a nice fluid way, I might carry on floating over those notes as I go up and down the scale. But some of them I might stay on for a little bit longer. Just depends on how your voice is feeling as to what you feel needs a bit of extra attention at this point. And sometimes it's fun to add a few staccato notes in there as well, so that you've then got legato and staccato notes moving together in the same phrase. So what I like to do is run through a few 2-octave scales, and then I might just push the end up a little bit more with a little arpeggio of some kind, just to make sure that I'm using the entirety of my range and that it's all fully warmed up. So I'll start with those scales right at the very low end of my range, going up and all the way back down, and then I'll keep creeping up until it gets to the very extremity of my high notes, and then all the way back down again. And then I know that I've got all of my entire range warmed up nicely, ready to go on stage, or ready to record, and that I'm fully warmed up, my tummy is ready, all of my muscles are going, yes, let's do this! By that point they're excited, they're ready, my voice is fully warm, but at the same time just making sure I'm all relaxed and ready to get out and sing as best that I can. So I really hope this video has been helpful and useful. If you've got any questions at all or any comments, please let me know in the comments below. If you've got a question, then of course I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'll look forward to hopefully seeing you in the next video. Okay, take care, bye!